baby. Yo, I play all day. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Scorpio Chronicles. You already know the vibes. I'm Ari, your destiny advisor. Your naked destiny advisor. Can we just see the fit today? Poke it up. Poke it up. Hey. All right, let me relax. Y'all ain't come here for all of... the introduction to shadow work, I basically explained what shadow work is. You can find that is the last video that I posted, so it's literally right there. I ain't gonna link it, or maybe I might, I don't know, but you can definitely find that video on my page. Shadow work is the whole process of you really being real and authentic with yourself. That is acknowledging those parts of you that we do not want to acknowledge, because one, that shit does not fucking feel good. Two, you're just like, am I really like this? Like, do I really have these negative thoughts? Do I really talk down to myself in a negative way? Yes, you do. But guess what? You don't have to continue to live your life that way. At any given moment, you can acknowledge it. Like, this is the whole purpose of shadow work, for us to acknowledge the things about ourselves that we need to work on. And mind you, when you do your shadow work, like, one thing I wish I would have known when I started doing my shadow work a year ago, just a little backstory. I've been woke, for real. Like, literally from I've been born, I've always understood that life is very interesting. The ways of social construct that have been set into motion from the time I was on this planet. As a kid growing up, I always knew, like, certain things did not resonate with me. Certain behaviors, even that I've experienced or witnessed my parents behave, my siblings, my family members, my friends in school, or their parents, etc., etc. Like, I just knew, like, this is not really normal. Like, it's normal in the sense that a lot of people are dysfunctional, but this can't be, like, real normalcy. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure there's another way to, like, move and live your life and operate, or how to handle certain situations. So for me, growing up as a kid, I always observed. I was always super observant, and I was also very quiet, because anytime I did express myself, nobody understood what I was saying, or, you know, nobody really cared, or my parents really didn't have the time because they were trying to secure the bag. So I feel like me growing up, I always knew that the world around me, something was off about it. I don't know what 5-year-old sits in kindergarten and watches the other children play and just sits there and it's like, why y'all really just can't chill or share the toys or listen when the teacher's talking to you 10 million, 50, 11 million times? Like, why you can't just chill? So I've always been spiritually woke, spiritually in tune. I just did not know what to call it. I grew up, I have one spiritual parent, and then I have another parent who's very earthly. So they're about the bread, they're about the logistics of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad is that real masculine energy. Like, he's about his coins, he's about his businesses, he's about his legacy, which I respect. Like, now that I'm older, I'm 27 turning 28, I respect the hustle. For me, I just feel like growing up, I wish my parents paid more attention to my emotional state of being, my energy state of being, and just filtered certain things that they exposed me to. Like, with maturity and with growth, especially when you begin to do your own shadow work, we all have mommy and daddy issues to a certain degree. Some people's are more extreme, and some people probably just have a couple arguments with their parents or a few disagreements, and it's like, all right, mom, dad, I don't really fuck with you like that. We all can relate to this dysfunction at some point. And me, a year ago, like, y'all see my videos, I was fucking mad at the world. I was angry. I was hurt. I was super sensitive, hella defensive. If you've been watching Scorpio Chronicles from the beginning, me at this time last year, I was just starting to do my shadow work. I was fucking angry all the time. I was confused. I was hurt, and I was living in a victim mentality. Like, oh, they did me dirty. They wasn't a real friend. They tried to use me or abuse me or whatever. Like, that was my energy last year. And can I just say, all praise to the Most High God. All praise to the Most High God. All praise to... For real, like, I'm so grateful to God, to the divine spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, my ancestors who are known and unknown to me, who mean me well. These are, mind you, I'm teaching you like how to communicate with your guides and your ancestors and all of that, because we live in a very physical but very, very spiritual world as well. And being that it is now October and Scorpio season starts this week as of the 22nd, all I can tell y'all is that the motherfucking veil between the physical world and the spiritual world, like, it's non-existent. Like, I've been experiencing some paranormal stuff this week, but not nothing too crazy that I can't handle. But I really feel that. Like, I feel like, one, we got 2 whole moons going on this month, major. We're currently in retrograde in Scorpio right now, major. Like, the momentum is real. I mentioned several times in my videos, like, each season has a different zodiac sign. This is why I stress the importance of researching your birth chart so you can have a better understanding of who you are. Because if you don't understand who you are, you're not going to be able to understand and relate to other people on all levels. Like, I'm so grateful for the transformation I've been making because I can truly relate to all people on all levels. Last year, I could only relate to people who choose to live in their dysfunction because I was living in my own dysfunction. And when I tried to get out of me living in my own dysfunction, I had to leave a lot of people behind and cut a lot of people out of my life, because where you are going, when you start chasing your destiny and you start living your purpose and you start living for you, you make the conscious decision that you want to change and improve your life. So you, in the midst of you doing your shadow work and reflecting, you have to sit there and reflect on the people around you. That's family, friends, co-workers, all of that. Who do you predominantly spend majority of your time with? And if these people are not either heading in the direction or already there of where you're trying to be or where you see yourself, you got to leave these people behind, because they will literally become a hindrance. The biggest things I always stress on my channel is cutting people off, because if I did not cut off my friends, certain family members, if I did not distance myself, if I did not really do my shadow work and acknowledge all my fuck ups, acknowledge why I behaved a certain way or why I was holding on to so much past trauma and all of that. If I didn't go through that, I would still have these people in my life, and I would not have been able to survive during a whole pandemic with all the crazy injustice going on in the world and all these new pieces of information and knowledge that come out on a day-to-day basis. I would probably be losing my mind like the rest of the fucking world. But because God been calling me, okay, but he really made certain things transpire into my life to where I hit the lowest of the lowest, and I just really wanted peace. Me, last year, I just wanted peace of mind. I didn't want a million people in my ears offering their opinions, their suggestions, giving me advice, because the people who's giving me advice, I'm not even going to do that, because we all go through shit in life, and none of us are born into this world with all the fucking answers. Like, you got to learn shit as you go, and the most knowledge you gain is usually from fucking up or doing things that you don't really like. And if you didn't know what you didn't really like or what you don't tolerate or what you stand for, you will fall for anything and everything. And that was me my entire life up until this time last year, where I just decided, like, you know what, I will take that L and risk having no social life, having no friends, feeling lonely, seeing everybody go out, turn up, all of that. Gang. Yeah, like, I was willing to make that sacrifice. Not at first. At first, I was dragging my feet and I was trying to bring as much people as I could with me, and it does not work that way. When you have a calling on your life, or when you have the desire to expand and excel and nobody around you has done that yet or isn't even trying to do that yet, the best thing you can do for yourself, and this is the largest portion of self-love, is put yourself, your needs, your dreams, your sanity first. And I made that decision. I probably looked back a couple times, but I stuck with that decision. And I'm telling y'all, I'm a whole new person. A whole new person, whole new energy. There's a whole new way to how I move. Like, my authenticity levels up every single day. And I can't even make this shit up. So that's why I'm a huge advocate of doing your shadow. I know, my bad. So shadow work, how do you do it? Acknowledge who you have around you, what type of environment you're in. Sometimes it's not even the people, it's your physical environment. Sometimes you're going to have to physically move. I feel like when I was living with my father last year, I would have never been able to do my shadow work because there were so many triggers within the house. I moved in with my cousin. I have my own space, my own peace of mind. So just by me changing or shifting my environment, that was already a good step, because now I was in a new space, new energy space to really think and be real with myself. You know, I had a couple friends who did me dirty. I have a couple friends who act like I don't know what the fuck they was doing, but I do. I have certain people who are just using me for benefits, because people know who is going to be somebody and who is not. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Whether they tell you to your face or not, people know your potential. People know your worth. And that's the only reason I've experienced so much opposition in the earlier half of my life, because people always knew I was going to motherfucking shine. So they did whatever, they said whatever, they influenced me however they could with whatever knowledge they had. And because I did not have boundaries, because I did not know what shadow work was, I was not in tune with my intuition, even though my intuition has always been on point my entire life. I was not in tune to just listening and following my intuitive guidance whenever it was telling me to stay away from certain people. Sometimes, even if your intuition doesn't really get through to you, it will get through to other people who will get through to you. Like my mom was telling me for years to like stop being friends with certain people because they was just using me, or they weren't adding to my productivity. And that's true. You are the company that you keep. If you surround yourself around a bunch of entrepreneurs, bosses, or educated people, or people who are into spirituality, or people who are into the things you're into, that's going to propel you forward in life. It absolutely will. I was hanging around people who was just doing the bare minimum. So by default, I was doing the bare minimum. And even when I was doing a little bit more than the bare minimum, I felt like I was being crucified for it. Rule number one, clear your energy, physical space. So because anytime you clear away anything, even while you're doing your healing and shadow work, and as painful as it is and as tough as it is to hold yourself accountable and to take responsibility for the fuck ups that you may have done, or for falling for certain traps, like, yo, we're not perfect. Forgive yourself. You're good. You're good. The fact that you are now at whatever age you're at, deciding like, I want better for my life, you're already ahead of the game, because you can start making the necessary steps to make your life better. It's people who choose stagnation. I don't got nothing to say to y'all, because I can't relate. And I feel like, especially along my wokeness journey, I feel like the more information I gathered is the more I was forcing my knowledge and wisdom onto people. Don't do that. Save your energy. Wish I knew everything I know now. I wish I knew 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. But everything happens in divine timing. You're going to get the information. You're going to run into the people who's giving you information. You're going to attract speakers, tarot card readers, whatever. Speaking of tarot, if you're into tarot or the metaphysical and you want to read it and all of that, shout out to CCU Tarot. He's on Instagram. It's Crystal Clear Universe. He's on Instagram. Shout out to him. He is a fellow Scorpio. If y'all want like me, but in a masculine energy, but you want like your cards read or something to see like what your energy is like and what's the best move for you, then definitely hit up KU at CCU Tarot on YouTube, and he's Crystal Clear Universe on Instagram. But yeah, I watch his videos every day, because like I always felt like if there were just a community of Scorpios, I'm not disregarding every other sign, but I'm just saying because I'm a Scorpio and this is Scorpio Chronicles. But if I could have an entire community of Scorpios, we could really come fuck shit up for the better. Like, we could really, like, make some things happen. And the fact that it took me 1.5 years later to attract this young man into my reality, who just confirms for me all the time, like, yeah, you see all these thoughts and ideas you've been having, you should act on it. You should act on it. You should network and all of that. Like, bro, I always stress how none of us are alone, how we are all part of collective consciousness. And I always knew that was facts. But when I am beginning to manifest people who I'm in the same soul group with, that shit hits different. And I'm so grateful, like, OD. And he also does Reiki healing no matter where you're at. So definitely go follow him, hit him up, all that good shit. Yeah. So, you know, with your shadow work, take your time. Take your time. You do not have to rush your healing. I was rushing my healing and it didn't really get me anywhere because I'm still healing now. Like, but I can see the huge shift from me last year to this year, from me last month to this month, from me 3 weeks ago to now. Like, when I say I be feeling shifts, I feel that shit. I notice it and I feel it on a physical and a spiritual level. Like, that's just facts, no cap. But your girl's going on a rant. There is no right or wrong way to do shadow work. Once you're being real with yourself, once you are doing your shadow work with the purpose of self-improvement and self-betterment, you cannot go wrong. What I really wanted to talk about is like, what really is your shadow? And your shadow, darker or deeper aspect of yourself, but it's not dark in a bad way, because there really is no good or bad. You just have things that you prefer and you least prefer. I've been on here promoting like love and light and all that good stuff, and I'm still all about love and light. Do not get it twisted. I'm still about being positive, thinking positive thoughts, expecting positive results in all areas of your life. I'm still very much about that. The struggle that I was having was me only trying to be positive and love and light and pretending to myself that I didn't have a shadow side, that I didn't have dark thoughts, that I couldn't go off on a motherfucker and fuck shit up if a motherfucker tried me, okay? But, you know, like, that was just me learning. Glad that I get guidance from other sources. Like, I get guidance from my actual spiritual guides. I get guidance from my mom. I get guidance from certain people on YouTube, you know, and you will know if it's the right guidance because it's going to resonate. It's going to be practical. It's going to make sense, and it's going to feel right to you. So take those principles anytime you're doing your shadow work and healing work in general. You are going to have to try a lot of different things, and you may spend a lot of time or a little bit of time being angry and resentful and hurt. That's normal. Express those emotions. Be real about those emotions. Don't be like, nah, I'm good. And I'm not talking about when other people are around. I'm talking about in general. Do not lie to yourself, because if you lie to yourself, you're lying to God. Why? Because you are God manifested into human form, having a human experience. But this soul, this essence that we have, that is God. So you cannot lie to yourself. You can't lie to your higher self. Your higher self gonna be like, all right, you remember, I love you for you, the shadow you and the higher aspect of you. So you can't lie to me, dog. Like, come on. So be real with yourself. If you are the type of person where your confidence is not up to par, really get real with yourself. Well, why am I insecure? Who told me I was ugly? Who told me I wasn't good enough? Who told me I wasn't smart enough? And then once you identify who or what that person's situation or circumstance is, don't be like me and blame them, because to be honest with you, when you're doing your shadow work, it is much easier to blame other people for what they said or what they directed or what they projected to you. But at the end of the day, people gonna say and do whatever the fuck they like. It's all about how you handle that, how you operate from that, what you take from that, and what you leave at the table. So I feel like for me, definitely last year, I was queen of the blame game. I blamed my parents. I blamed relationships. I blamed friends. But I chose these friends. I chose to be in these relationships. I also chose my parents before I was born. I already knew what type of time they was going to be on. I already knew they weren't going to have the knowledge or the wisdom in hand who would be able to handle having an empathetic Scorpio child. I already knew that before I was born. I signed up for this shit. So when you're on your journey, the biggest thing is acknowledging that this is what you signed up for before you even recalled signing that spiritual karmic contract. We agreed to come here and cycle with certain souls who we probably already lived certain lifetimes with. And it's like the inner aspect of me knew that I was an old soul, just the way how I view things, and I was very observant. So when you're talking about soul cycles and all that good stuff, some people really do have a newer soul. So what I mean by saying like I have an older soul, like I feel connected to like Atlantis, Lemuria, like ancient Egypt. So my soul has probably been like reincarnating on this planet since the very beginning of this planet. Like certain things that I'm drawn to and attracted to, certain wisdom that I get, I can tell that I have a really old soul. So it's no accident that I chose my parents, that I chose these experiences that I've gone through up until this point in my life, so that now that I've been doing my shadow work, and I continue to daily do my shadow work because I ain't fucking perfect. And I still have a lot of healing to do. But you see the growth. Stepped out of my own comfort zone, and I've unbound myself from my own chains. I'm in a position to where I want to help people. Like, look at what's going on in the world. We need healing, and we need healers. So if you're a healer and that's something you think you want to do, you got to first really heal yourself, because how are you going to be able to communicate with other people? How are you going to be able to empathize and sympathize and truly understand and overstand? You got to do your own work. So yes, that's just a very small intro to shadow work. You got to cry it out. You got to cry it out. Do not be afraid to cry. If you're not a crier, okay, write it out. If you're very artistic, paint some stuff. Release it. Find an avenue for you that is healthy. It's not harming you or anybody else, where you can be your true authentic self, where you can really just vent. Find someone you can actually really vent to. Someone who you know is not going to judge. Someone who gives good, solid advice. Someone who is either living or on their way to living the type of life you want. Someone who is responsible with their own time and energy and effort and their money, because that's also important. Like, moving forward, I'm going to start talking about money, because when I first began being spiritual, or just even my upbringing, like, I always had money. So it wasn't a matter of rich or poor. It was just a matter of, I think once I got into my 20s and I started becoming more consciously aware of the world around me, for me personally, I was just like, fuck money. Money had people losing their fucking minds, rob, stealing, killing, and doing all type of fuck shit for money. Fuck that. But no, I was wrong, okay? I was wrong, because if I had been about my bread back when I was getting serious bread, I wouldn't be in certain positions that I'm in now. But again, I am grateful, because, like, this is just a little fun fact. Y'all know how I be like, you should stop comparing yourself to other people. You should monitor how you compare yourself to other people, because comparison or contrast is just a natural state of being human. You're never going to stop doing it. So let me stop lying to y'all like, no, don't do that. I'm not going to crucify y'all no more. Let's just be real, okay? Because this is how I'm able to come and talk to y'all and say what I want to say what needs to be said, and say something that's actually going to help you and make you a better person. And if you're a better person, your life is going to be better. I'm learning that me being authentic, there is only one way to be authentic, and that is just to fucking do that shit. So not everybody gonna like my delivery, but the facts are the fucking facts. You don't gotta like who's saying it. As long as it's facts and it's there to help you, take that shit, apply it, and run with it. Okay? So take it from me, being a spiritual person, being woke does not mean you need to be broke. Does not mean you need to struggle. It does not mean that you need to give away your very last dollar to any and everybody who asks. No. Ooh, if my dad called me one more time. Fucking up the fly. Like, I definitely feel like it is a good quality to be charitable. I definitely think if you have it in abundance and you're in a position to give to people who actually need it, okay? Because there are people who actually really do need your services or your funds. But don't just be given to any old body. That is not self-love, and that is how you drain your energy, okay? Because we are unlimited beings, and we all have the potential to make our own reality come true. We have that. And a part of that reality, money is one of them. Yes, you can manifest money, but you got to decide how much you want to manifest and how much seems realistic to you. You got to find a way to believe in that shit one way or another. That was my whole little rant about money. I'm going to start doing money segments for real. But yeah, just enjoy what y'all got. So yes, definitely when you're doing your shadow work, distance yourself. Even if you don't want to cut people off, just distance yourself. Acknowledge those moments where you do need alone time. If you having a day where you just feel like, yo, I don't want to talk to nobody, I don't want to see nobody, honor that shit. Respect yourself, because that's a boundary. And just take that day to focus on you. And then go back and link up and chat with whoever. If they're really meant to be in your life, they should not feel no type of way about it. But human beings are very fickle. There's no way to determine who's going to feel some type of way about what. That's what I'm saying. In a way, you kind of got to understand when you're doing your shadow work, you can't really give a fuck about other people like that. Do not get me wrong. That does not mean you need to be savage, cold, or just fucked up. You don't have to do that at all. You should still treat people the way that you want to be treated. You should treat all human beings with respect, okay, and dignity. But what I've learned is there's a way to go about certain things, and it's best to be graceful. If you're not naturally graceful, you can pray to have grace. Literally, pray for grace. Just ask. And it is given onto you. Like, that is the realest thing that the Bible be talking about for real. Like, and I realize, like, as human beings, we don't truly understand how to ask for what it is we actually do want. Sometimes we don't even know what we do want. It's like we want certain things, but we don't even know, like, that's what you really want. That's what's really going to make you feel good and happy and complete inside. So definitely, that's why we're doing this shadow work. That's why we're doing this self-evaluation. That's why we're going through all the things that we do not really care too much about, so that we can get a better understanding of things that we do give a shit about, things that we actually do want to manifest and bring forth into our reality. I hope this video on shadow work was really helpful. There are going to be more dedicated just to shadow work. If you feel like you want something more in-depth and personal, definitely hit me up. I have something amazing in the works that are coming. It's dropping soon. To my next video, y'all. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe if you find this helpful. I'm really trying to grow and expand my channel. I want to find my soul tribe. Like, me giving out all these jewels, I'm really trying to help people, and I'm also trying to bring forth my soul tribe, because the more of us who are healing, you don't even understand, like, what you are doing for the planet, what you are doing for collective consciousness. That's why I always stress doing your shadow work, and I always stress healing yourself, because what Biggie said, we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. Like, people don't even understand, understand, or overstand what he was actually talking about. When you change yourself, you heal yourself, you free your energy space, you then allow more positive energy to come into your reality. The more positive energy you experience, you're going to give off mad positive vibes back into the universe. Energy is viral. Basically, energy goes fucking viral, okay? If the whole world is in panic because of pandemic, everybody's feeling that shit. Y'all know some of my videos, how I was crying and all of that in the midst of COVID at the beginning of the shit, because I'm an empath and that shit was way too much for me. Now that people been going on vacations, living their best life, starting their businesses, TikTok and doing all that good shit, like, I'm good. I'm chilling. So when I say, like, yo, focus on yourself right now. Right now is not really the time to be trying to get into new relationships unless you feel divinely guided to do so. Now is not really the time to be up in entanglements. It's time to free yourself, free your mind. Detach from social media every now and then. Detach from watching TV every now and then. If it's not something educational, if it's not something that's going to help you get through these next 10 years and all the energy that's to come, cut that shit out now. Because there is a huge gap between people ascending within the new version of the earth that we're on and people who are choosing to remain stagnant. And you know what? People who are choosing to remain stagnant, I don't want to be one of those people, because shit is going to continue to get real for the sheep, for people who don't know how to think and move on their own, who need to be told everything to do. It's not going to be lit. It's not going to be lit at all. But for the rest of us who are trying, who we want better, we want to improve the overall way of being and living, not only just for ourselves, but others, keep doing your shadow work, keep doing your healing, keep loving yourself, keep putting your needs first, okay? Once you fill your cup to fullness, you can then begin overflowing in the giving. Giving is not just money. Giving is time, energy, advice, love, compassion. If you really want to know what's the most potent energy of all time, love. Love moves mountains. Love changes lives. Love breaks generational curses and all of that. Love creates generational wealth, but it all starts with the love that you have for yourself. So fall in love with yourself. Y'all see me, like, look at the progress. Look at my first video and look at me now, okay? Look at me now. Look at me now. Oh, we getting paper. All right, I'm done. To my next video, y'all. Peace. I love y'all. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for watching this video. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Inspired by Ari and share my shit so I can feel more motivated to give you more shit. Hey. All right. Later. Bye.